Hello again, it's Mark Middleton from Growing Boulder. I certainly hope that you and your family are hanging in there and doing well because, it really is our family, our friends, our colleagues, and our local leadership that is helping all of us get through this unprecedented challenge, which is why I am very grateful today to speak to one of the nation's most thoughtful and popular mayors, and I think those two must go hand in hand. Jane Castor is a former beat cop who became Tampa's first female police chief before becoming her city's first openly gay mayor, winning election by a landslide last year. And talk about a tough first year on the job, but she definitely seems to be up to the task, doing a great job leading Florida's third largest city through these tough times. Mayor Castor, good morning. How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure for the invitation.
Well, we appreciate it. And, as a media member, I'm really torn about using descriptors like first female and first openly gay. But, until those things are as commonplace as they should be, I almost feel obligated to not just celebrate it, but thank you for stepping up and being that type of example. So is it okay that I mention that?
Oh, sure. Not at all. Not at all. And I'm with you on that. It should get to the point where it really doesn't matter.
Well, I appreciate that. So how is Tampa holding up? What's going on? Any breaking news today?
Yeah, well, no. Well, hey, we got Tom Brady and Gronkowski, so that's a breaking news. But all is good here. We went to the safer at home order early on, and our community has responded incredibly to that. And as a result, according to Dr. Lockwood, who runs University of South Florida Medical School, that Tampa, Hillsborough County, that we hit our peak in the beginning of April. And so while our positive cases continue to go up, we are on that downward trajectory, percentage-wise, how many tests that we've provided and how many positives are coming back. In addition to that, we have only had 20 deaths here. Now, behind each one of those numbers is an individual who has a family and loved ones. And so, we mourn every loss. But to be able to keep that number low is really a tribute to our citizens and their embracing of their personal responsibility in not transmitting this virus and doing everything they can to avoid contracting it. So I'm very, very proud of our community.
Well, that's great to hear that you guys have been flattening the curve, and absolutely, it's been, great on your residents, but it has been your great leadership. I've just been amazed at some of the public service announcements that you've created that have been both creative and very warm. I'm talking about Stay Home for Me So I Can Be Here for You, which kind of featured, all of your critical service providers, your frontline healthcare workers, all of those people kind of asking people to stay at home. So that said, we've now got guidance from the federal government about reopening, up our states. And now that we have that, and some areas in Florida are already reopening beaches, are you getting any pressure, Mayor, to open the beaches around Tampa?
Well, not the beaches specifically, but I am getting pressure. I call them the form emails that, you get hundreds a day that come. It's the same exact email, and people just blast your email about opening up. But, those decisions have to be made very thoughtfully. And there are two critical aspects. First and foremost is the health and safety of our community. And second is the economy that I have to worry about. And they're in that order. Clearly, the health and well-being, the safety of our citizens is my top priority. But I can't ignore the economy. And I think a lot of people are approaching this as that those two are mutually exclusive. And I don't see that. I think that we can take the safety considerations and opening up the economy. If we do that very thoughtfully, then I think we can do it safely. And here's the way that I see that is, one, we have to test more. We in the state of Florida and here in Hillsborough County that Tampa is geographically located within, we have done just over 1% of our population. So we really have to ramp up those number of tests. And the number that we're given per 100,000, looking at your population, is that we need to be doing 2,000 tests a day. So we have ramped it up here in Hillsborough County in the city of Tampa to where we are doing 4,000 tests a day. So we should be able, and we're getting the results quicker. So we should be able to have data that we can make solid decisions off of on opening up. A couple of other things that I see that are critically important. One is the 6-foot distance separation. That is critically important. The other element that I don't believe people have embraced fully enough are the face coverings. And we have an emergency policy group that makes the decisions for our county, and it consists of 3 county commissioners, the mayor of each of the cities in Hillsborough County, which is Tampa, Plant City, and Temple Terrace, and then the school board chair and the sheriff. And I tried to get a face covering order passed for certain locations, pharmacies, grocery stores, those kind of places where it's hard to avoid contact with others. And one, to stop the transmission or from contracting the virus, but just as importantly, it would allow us to take that next step in opening our community back up. Well, that didn't go over like I had planned for. And so, as I always do, I have a plan B. And we went into that this past weekend, and we called a lot of the big stores the entire weekend, and we got our area hospitals, we got Home Depot, we got all of our grocery stores, not all, but the larger ones, Walmart, Sam's, Publix, Winn-Dixie, and the large pharmacies, CVS, Walgreens, and we got them all to come on board with a requirement that they provided the face coverings for their employees, and they also requested that their customers wear those. At the city of Tampa, all of our essential team workers are wearing the cloth face masks as well. I think that's going to make a huge difference. I also think that is going to be the new normal. Where a lot of people are going to be wearing those. So I think that's very important. Another critical element to opening up the community is the antibody testing. I had Dr. Lockwood on my Facebook show yesterday at 4:30, and he runs USF Medical School here locally. And he said that the estimations are somewhere between 20 and 50% of the population have had this virus and are asymptomatic. So they have no idea. So if we do this antibody testing in large numbers, we'll be able to see who's had this virus, has a built-up immunity, and can go back into the community and start, lifting us up economically. So there are a number of ways that we need to approach this, and we're going to do that in the city of Tampa. One of the things that I worry about is this push to open up too quickly without having done testing and finding out who has the antibodies and other just simple steps. And if you look at it nationally, statewide, you go to New York, largest state in the nation, it's not going to happen there. They're not going to be forced or pushed into any hasty decisions. You go to California, same thing there. Third largest state in the nation, Florida. So I just don't want us to become that canary in the coal mine. Let's try it in Florida and see what happens. We've got one shot at doing this right. And the worst thing that could happen would be for us to push to reopen too quickly and end up further back than where we started with this virus. Because here in the city of Tampa, we have done, I believe, a remarkable job. Hillsborough County, the entire county, we've done a remarkable job of keeping those numbers low and doing everything necessary to try to reduce the number of fatalities from this virus.
Folks, we're talking with the mayor of Tampa, Jane Castor, and Jane, I'm certain this is not exactly what you signed up for, but
right.
A hallmark of your career. Now, folks, this is a public servant who spent 17 years as a beat cop, and one of the hallmarks, one of the foundations, one of the cornerstones, if you will, of your entire career, has been community engagement. You get out there and you twist arms in a gentle and effective way. That's a skill set that certainly seems to be serving you very well right now.
Yes, and actually it was 31 years as a police officer.
Sorry.
Yeah, but in those kind of days too, it's like here I ask people when they say about time frames, and I'm like, is that COVID time or is that regular time? Because somebody said the month of March was the longest year of their life, but it has served me well because 31 years in law enforcement, dealing with a lot of large scale emergencies. Dealing with those incidents that you have to make a decision and you have to make a decision now. And so I've always really tried to simplify my life by doing the right thing for the right reason. But you have to take all of the available data, everything you can get your hands on, and use all of that information, all of those opinions, all of that input into making a decision and making that decision in the best interest of your community and your citizens. And that's what I've tried to do during this response to this virus. I've had I wouldn't say a lot. I've had pushback from other individuals that have told me, I've heard on more than one occasion, you need to slow down. And my response is, no, you need to keep up, because we have to make these decisions and we have to make them now, because any delay is going to result in additional cases and additional deaths. And so I'm very proud of the way that our community has responded. And I'm very, very proud of our team here in the city of Tampa. I always tell them, I say, we are going to do this. And I said, and when I say we, that means all of you. So they've done a great job, especially in the social media and the communication way, in the realm of communication, really done a great job. We have an afternoon dance party every evening at 6 o'clock to bring our community together. 6 different radio stations play the same song, and everybody comes out and dances and sends in the videos and the pictures, and just, any way that we can get that message of hope out there, and then also that message of personal responsibility.
I really appreciate that. And folks, I can't help but think you're getting a sense of what makes this woman unique. And on a personal note, Mayor, you really are kind of the definitive, the ultimate Tampa girl. You were born in Tampa. You went to high school in Tampa. You went to college in Tampa, and now you've risen to become the mayor of Tampa. On a personal level, on a personal note, what does that mean to you? To be able to help your community in this way, to be able to lead them through this time.
Yeah, well, it really means a lot to me. My heart is in this city. I love this community. I'm one of 5 kids. All my brothers and sisters still live in this city. And when I retired from being the police chief in Tampa, I had offers from around the United States to go to other law enforcement agencies. And I said, no, I am never leaving my city. So I love this city with all my heart. And it really is an honor for me to be a part of leading Tampa into the future and lifting the city up for everyone in our community.
You mentioned almost right off the top in this interview, Mayor, that things were okay because you got Tom Brady. And I don't think you meant that you got him in the way that I want to talk about right now, because it has been reported that one of your city workers saw a man working out in one of your closed city parks. They kicked him out of the park, and it turned out that it was 6-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady. So we know he's in town, and we know that you are not having anybody above the law, if you will.
Well, we're very, very excited that Tom Brady is here, and now Gronkowski. But I said that clearly the media listens to me as closely as my kids do, because that occurred 3 weeks ago. And I've talked about it on a number of different occasions. And yesterday, all of a sudden, it's the hot news. But, he was working out in a park that was close to his home. And one of our park workers walked up, having no idea who he was. But we're just excited that he's here in the community. And we wanted everybody to know that he was cited with an S and not a C. He did not get in trouble. We just let him know, what the rules were at this particular time. And I'm quite certain that, he had no issue with that. But we can't wait to provide him with the proper Tampa welcome, because this clearly is not it, but we will, without a
Well,
doubt.
you made sure that he knows what the rules are, but there is some question as to whether or not he plays by the rules. I couldn't let that pass. I'm a Tom Brady fan. Before we let you go, can you tell us just a little bit about this One Tampa Relief Fund that you guys have going? Because I think it's really interesting and really powerful.
Yeah, well, everybody in our community, the vast majority of individuals have been affected by this virus in one way or another. And so many of our citizens have literally had the rug pulled out from under them. They've lost businesses. They've had dramatic cuts in their pay. They've lost jobs. The federal government is moving quickly and getting relief funds quicker than I've seen in my experience with the federal government, but there's still going to be that lag time and that gap. And so we had to find a way that we could help our citizens and our small businesses out to provide them with some kind of relief. So we came up with One Tampa, and we're using funds from the Fed's HUD and CDBG grants for housing. We're using that $2 million. We're utilizing CRAs, which are community revitalization areas in impoverished areas throughout the community. And we're using where it's a geographic area where the tax revenues go back into that area. So we're using some interest on those accounts, which amounts to $2 million. And then I'm trying to raise $2 million from our community that I can match with $2 million in emergency funds from a city account, basically the hurricane account. So we're looking at $8 million to be able to provide to our community citizens who live in the city of Tampa that we can pay a month's rent or mortgage and their utilities. And then same thing for small businesses, just to try to get past that, that gap until we can get some additional assistance. And we knew that people were in need, but the very first day that we launched the Citizen Initiative, we had 4,500 people waiting before it even opened, and we took 10,000 calls. And we could only, with that 8 million, we could only help 2,000 to 2,500 citizens and then 800 businesses. And so, I'm really trying to raise that funding so that we can help more people in need in our community. And everyone's been very, very appreciative.
Well, it's heartbreaking and it's encouraging at the same time. And as we've all said many times, we are all in this together. What you are doing in Tampa affects how the rest of us in the state of Florida are living. So thank you so much. And folks, we've only, kind of touch the tip of the iceberg in terms of what the city of Tampa is doing in providing resources. They do have a great website. You can go to it at tampagov.net/COVID-19. We will also share it on our page in case you've missed it, and that's at growingboulder.com/COVID, where Growing Boulder and Florida Blue Medicare are now partnering in an effort to try to keep you to stay informed and stay connected. And be sure to check out Growing Boulder, Florida Blue Medicare's, and the City of Tampa's Facebook pages. Mayor Castor, thank you again for your leadership, for all that you are doing, sharing some of your valuable time with us. And thanks to all of you. As we've said many times, we are stronger together. And if I can steal a line from the great Mayor Castor, I will say, stay calm, stay kind, and stay safe. Mayor, thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it too. All right, folks, have a good one. We'll see you next time.